Hey y'all, it's Ho season. Welcome to another episode of the Grow, Glow, and Ho Heal Over Everything podcast. I'm Talitha. We got Nakia.
Yeah.
Ew. And we're here. Today we will be diving into something that may be a little emotional, maybe a little deep, maybe a little heavy, but we are going to talk about from the office to the Oval. But before we get into that, friend, tell them about this merch.
Honey.
And nay.
Honey. I'm so excited about the merch. Like, I truly am, because wearing our merch out sometimes, people go, "Ooh, where'd you get that shirt, girl? I like it because I be outside hoeing too."
You
Oh,
better
you
hoe.
do?
You better hoe.
You better hoe? You do? You healing over everything too?
Yes.
Is that what that means? Yes. Healing over everything
And dust.
and hoeing. You know what I'm saying? However you want it. I'm excited about the merch. We offer bottles of water, you know, crops, t-shirts, a crop hoodie,
Yes.
something for everybody. I think it's a
Yes.
great inclusive space that we're creating
I love it. So check us out. Make sure you click that link and get your Heal Over Everything Hoe merch.
today.
Friend, it's been a rough couple weeks, right? But we're here.
Yeah.
I am so grateful that you made a space for me to feel comfortable to say, I just need a minute
Good.
because November 5th was a lot.
Yes.
So let's get into it. From the office to the Oval, the not so silent struggles of Black women in workplaces.
Yes.
Um, the first thing that comes to mind is still sadness.
Yes.
Um, not because of who lost,
Yes.
but because of what won.
Yes.
And it made me sad because it reminded me this is my everyday 8 to 5 struggle. To be overqualified and
Mm.
overlooked, to be undervalued and
Mm.
underpaid, to be ignored, to be dismissed, for mediocrity.
Mm.
Is that the word?
Mm.
Mediocrity?
You're the grammar friend, but
Yeah.
I'm going to guess and
But
say
yeah.
mediocrity.
For somebody
All
who's
that.
mediocre.
Mediocre.
We don't want no mediocre.
Yes.
Iggy Azalea. But
Thank you, friend.
just saying, like, those are the things that came to mind on the following day, Wednesday, the 6th.
Oof.
How have you been holding up? Let's get into that first. How have you been holding up since the last 10 days?
Well, you know that I've been waiting for this day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have been in such of a wave of emotions. I've been in my waiting to exhale moment.
Mm.
I've been sad. I've been happy some days just because I'm choosing to be that. And then I've been enraged.
Lighting the car on fire.
Yes, like
Yeah.
like
Christina's gone.
Christina's gone. Okay? Like, just everything. And honestly, I don't know how I'm feeling still, because the results are the results, right? I'm not worried about that. The people are the people. If you believe what this current administration did, then you understand what's getting ready to be dismantled.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe that the incoming administration will do better, then you haven't been paying attention. And for me, someone who is in advocacy, I'm so fortunate to say, you know what? Something just came to me. Thank God for therapy, girl.
Mm.
I remember when this incoming administration won the first time, and there were leadership, white men in the office who were celebrating the next day with fists. We won. He did it. Trump, man. This was after the whole disparaging comments when it comes to women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the lack of awareness of what you're celebrating and who you're celebrating around. And because of that, it causes the shrinkage in all of us, specifically those who understand what's at stake here, to have to hide because we can't emote in sorrow the way we truly want to. So going into my workplace, current workplace, a different workplace, I was pleasantly surprised when I got on our ERG call, because I am the chair of community
Okay.
outreach for our Black ERG
Mm-hmm.
with the company I support. The executive CFO, leadership, CFO of an amazing, huge company understood that we needed a space in that ERG just to say, "Are you okay?" Completely different than my previous
Mm.
experience. So for my work, I get to still be Nakia professionally there. But in my private life, I have no idea who I am today because what was it? November 6th
Mm.
changed the world that I saw. So now I'm trying to identify a new world that I have to participate in, and it's taking me some time.
Right. Sorry. Sometimes you just have to take a deep breath to even be able to reiterate your next thought,
Yeah.
right? And you're absolutely right. I think about what Madam Vice President Kamala felt on that night and that next morning. Again, not because she lost, but how much more better do I have to be? What more do I have to prove, or how much more do I have to prove that I'm worthy and I am capable of holding this position? Here's a woman of color, a black woman, an Indian descent,
Mhm.
Asian, descent. Here's a woman of color that has literally worked in all three branches of government, who has had a successful career, whether we believe in the things she has done or not. Because let's be real, we don't. I don't agree with everything she's done, right? But I understand she was doing a job.
Yes.
Okay, so she's done all these things, has all these accolades, has many successes, and that's still not good enough. I'm still not worthy enough, and I feel like that's where we Black women, us specifically, because we talked thoroughly that Tuesday and Wednesday, that's where we found ourselves. What more do we have to do? What more do we need to bring to the table to prove that we can handle it? But then you go get somebody that is mediocre, that is average. And again, I'm not talking about this man because I refuse to even give him my words. I have so many that probably are not appropriate for YouTube. But or maybe they are cuz YouTube takes everything. But
Hey.
but he's so just average, below average. But this country would rather see a below average white man than a above average, extraordinary black woman. That's so disheartening. And so if that can happen to a woman in the highest office in
Say
the
it.
country,
Tell it.
then it made me, well, who am I at my little job where, honey, they done already demoted me for a white woman.
Mm.
So it's like I lost hope.
Mm.
And I posted something that said 2016 broke my heart because that's when he lost to Hillary. 2024 broke my faith
You did. I really like that.
because I didn't even know how to navigate the feelings I was having. How do I still have faith in this God that I know is real because he has picked me up and scooped me up, but it goes to show how the world events can really shake our faith to the core. Again, I wasn't saying that Kamala was going to be my savior. My savior was still always Jesus Christ.
That part.
But she was going to help make my world as a black woman and as the mother of a black male son a little bit easier, I felt.
Yeah.
And I feel like we woke up on November 6th in 1954.
Right. Like I said it earlier in the car that the idea that we were celebrating a woman being president was amazing. The idea
Mhm.
that we could even have someone in that position is amazing. For her to be a black woman,
Mhm.
cherry
Chef's
on
kiss.
top. Mwah, thank you so much. Right?
Yes.
But I want people to truly understand that the issue that people were having, specifically women of color,
Mm.
is our advocacy is rooted in this country from the very beginning. from the very beginning. So the the rules, the laws, the regulations,
Mhm.
things that have moved forward for LGBTQIA women, women of all races, um, women of color, black men. I mean, we got the Crown Act in
Mhm.
California because we had to for our
Mhm.
hair. So because we are continuously advocating and fighting, everybody benefits from our
Mhm.
advocacy
Mhm.
and our fighting, which is why Kamala keeps saying, keep
Mhm.
fighting, because it's in us, it's rooted in us.
Yes.
So to wake, not even to wake up, but really to wake up, because I didn't watch the results
That
on
night.
Tuesday night. I had to go to sleep and turn the TV off.
Mhm.
But to wake up and have the world that we know be completely different. Black women collectively decided, without knowing one another in different parts of the country, we all threw up our hands at the same time, specifically 92% of us
Hmm.
at the same
At the
time,
same time.
and
Mhm.
said, we're tired.
Mhm.
We're done. This is too much. We need a break too. Because, like I said earlier, the issue isn't just the outcome. The
Absolutely.
biggest issue is all the work that we have put in, all the advocacy,
Right.
all the fighting, all the hardships, all the crying, all everything
Mhm.
that has been put into the space of moving forward will be repealed, will be set back, will be put in a space where we may not be able to recover in some things that became law.
Right.
So for people who are not within the 92%, right,
Mm.
of this space or in this percentage of
Right.
black men, for those who voted against their own interests, that's the issue.
Mhm.
You don't have to like Kamala.
Right.
We don't like Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, we survived 4 years back then.
Yes.
We will not survive 4 years this time because the laws, the space, the policies, things that are being implemented are things that are set to demolish.
Mhm.
And
Our
what's
entire
being
community.
rebuilt is not
Mhm.
for us.
Right.
And I'm not saying black people only, I'm saying humanity. And there's such an inhumane space that's being operated and heavily promoted in media, in behaviors, in these podcast relationship conversations.
Mhm.
It becomes inhumane. And I think January 6th for me showed you're either a human or inhumane person.
Mhm.
And you can't have both these days. So to me, that's the world I'm trying to figure out, who am I around now?
Mhm.
Are you human or an inhumane person? An
Yes.
inhumane person makes excuses for what's happening and what's to come. A human person has empathy, and I need to be around empathetic people.
Right. Let's go back to really quick. You just talked about the Crown Act.
Mhm.
And that has always bothered me because the fact that we need a policy put in place to wear our hair the way it grows out of our scalp
Girl,
is insane.
girl.
Like, I have to have legislation to tell me that my hair is allowed to grow out curly or that I can wear it the way God intended because Jesus had hair of wool. So this was how his hair was. I don't care what white, blonde haired, blue eyed they put on the TV. The words are the words.
Words are the words.
And so the fact that we need this legislation, again, that can get overturned. Granted, we, thank God, live in a state like California that
Oof,
is blue and that isn't perfect,
oof.
but that does have our best
Yeah.
interests somewhat at heart, right? We can do better because some of the propositions that passed blew my mind as well. We can do better, California. Just saying. But they were able to overturn Roe versus Wade.
Like,
So is it a matter of time before the Crown Act tells me my
yes,
hair can't grow out of my scalp the way it's supposed to? You
yes.
know, it's so upsetting. I remember, going when we went into the office because now it's, remote work, went into the office and you wouldn't feel comfortable to wear your curly hair or braids or a weave or whatever, shortcut or whatever you felt or you were told that wasn't professional,
Hmm.
right? So again, what more do I have to do
Hmm.
just to show that I deserve to be at this table? I deserve to be in this office.
Hmm.
I deserve to be in this pay grade with you.
Hmm.
But like you said, November 6th, we woke up and said, no more.
Mhm.
The 92% of us woke up and said, no more.
Right.
But that didn't even come with a feeling of happiness or joy. It was a feeling of, I have to protect my peace. I hold to protect my peace.
Hello.
That came with a sense of, to protect my peace,
Yes.
Christina's gone.
Christina's
Okay.
gone.
New Helen is here. Christina's
Christina's gone.
gone. And so the joy came from seeing other sisters
Yes.
like us
Yes.
saying the same thing. I have gained so many new TikTok
Yes,
followers
girl.
from them.
Yes.
Hey, black girl, you see one, you post one, or you
Yes.
friend one, or whatever the saying
Yes.
is. But you see a black woman, you friend her.
Yes.
Then we have these people crashing out, honey. They
Ooh.
are making these friendship bracelets because first it was the blue ones to show I did vote for Kamala. I'm an ally. Then the Real Housewives of the Clan decided they wanted to make the red bracelets to show that they stand by their guy. So we can, identify our enemies, so to speak. It's just too much. All because we said we were done. All because we said we were taking our capes off and wrapping up in them like blankets
Yes.
and taking our rest.
Yes.
We have these people crashing out.
Yes. And I love that for them.
I love it for them
I
and
do.
for us because we no longer care. We no longer care. If we don't fit into your space, if we don't fit at your table, we have now decided that we are going to make our own table.
Yes.
My soror, Shirley Chisholm, bring your folding chair to the table. But now we're taking our tables and our folding chairs and we are going elsewhere
Yes.
to where we are better served, better acknowledged, treated better. And that is my hope for us as we move forward. But like you said, it's still a scary space because we still don't know who we're around.
Who we're around. And yes, yes, to all of that. You said something in regards to the workplace and
Mhm.
hair. And I used to tell this story more often. So now then I'll kind of give
Okay.
back to where we are. The current company that I support now, we are doing, like I said, we have different ERGs, which I'm again super grateful that this company has decided we're keeping our DEI in our company.
Good.
That's important to the culture.
Yes.
Right. And this company, before I worked there, was extremely conservative. I saw this company, was like, I will never work for them. And here I am excited and like, I'm never
Right.
going to leave, because the culture of people allowing you to just exist in a space without having you to identify your existence is huge, So when I was unemployed back in 2007, 2006, 2007, when the housing market
Mhm.
crashed and I went through my extreme hardships, having to look for work, and I'm in Orange County, having to look for work. I'm unemployed. I'm using unemployment to go buy weave, to go get it installed so I can interview. Just so I can interview. I'm $500 in the hole just so I can interview so my hair is not a distraction in the interview.
My God.
And in order for me to feel confident, I have to assimilate. I have to shrink myself, right? I have to shrink myself to be invisible, basically, just so you can look and see if I'm acceptable enough for the environment. Not if I'm qualified, if I'm acceptable or not.
Mhm.
So when we get those scenarios, when we get other scenarios, when we get common scenarios, your scenarios, these scenarios are adding up.
Mhm.
And it's only adding up to our personal mental health. Nobody gets to experience what's in us but us.
Mhm.
And so when Black women say, any woman say, I'll even give it to white women, Asian women, and that's the challenge and that's the problem I think a lot of us are having with the other women at this point.
Right.
Some of you, because I know some amazing other women
Mhm.
in other spaces. But for the women who are just finding it difficult for them to put themselves in a space of empathy, you don't have to identify like me because you never will. But to be empathy, to offer empathy and struggle with that is, to me, unfathomable.
Mhm.
Go ahead, girl. Unfathomable.
You better you better use that big word.
You know what I'm
Are you
saying?
about to be the grammar friend now?
Yeah, girl, unfathomable. I
Give
just
yourself a little
can't.
clap. Can you find it? Give it a little clap.
Okay, no. Thank you. And that's the part where I say I'm starting to understand humanity
Mhm.
versus inhumane behavior.
Mhm.
When you cannot even empathize with a person to give them a space to say, I didn't realize that, and I'll never know what that looks like
Right.
for you, but I'm willing to leave you in that
Yes.
space so you can heal from that space. Because if I do anything, it might trigger you.
Mhm.
So let me just say, I understand and I apologize for my part. Done. You can't even get that because it's a but, however, and if I may go a little further, going
Please.
back to Kamala, the thing that bothered me the most when it comes to people that look like me,
Mhm.
when they say Kamala locked up, Kamala, prosecuted. No, Kamala did her job. She did her job because no one says who was the arresting officer. Um,
Right.
what evidence did they have? They had to present evidence. You have to present evidence to an attorney to say, I'm willing to take this.
Mhm.
I think I can win it. So if Kamala's team said, give me the case, it's because whatever evidence was given was sufficient enough for them to prosecute. So if she prosecuted someone wrongfully because they didn't commit the crime,
Mhm.
it's not Kamala's
Right.
problem. What it is the arresting officer.
Mhm.
Investigate that. So for people of color to overlook that conversation,
Mhm.
for the media, specifically Black media, to overlook that conversation and keep talking about what Kamala's going to do for Black men versus what she's been doing in a
Hmm.
lot of areas for Black men is to me another way for them to say, this is why I don't like her.
Mhm.
No, this is why you don't like yourself.
Mhm.
Because you're not educated enough to know it's not just about being a president, it's about holding a space for other people to exist too.
Correct.
And for her presidency, other people would have been allowed to exist. In Donald Trump's presidency, other people are not allowed to
Mhm.
exist. They just take up space. Where is the question? Where is that space going to be held? Is the question.
Well.
So for me, keep reconciling all these
Mhm.
different things on a daily basis is struggling, but I'm finding myself getting better because I'm using the words that the Lord want me to use. Free will. When you exercise your free will, it exposes so much. So now that your people are exercising it, I'm looking at you saying, that's the free will that you
Right.
choose to, that's the will,
Right.
have it. That's not humane though.
There's so many gems that you just dropped. I'm just trying to let my mind process a few things that you said just so profoundly, and I'm definitely not trying to repeat it because you
Please.
done put the message out there, honey. It's just time to pass the offering plate on that. But like you said, she's doing her job. How many of y'all go to work and don't do your job and still have a job? I would venture out to say probably none. So we're mad at this Black woman for doing her job because it inconvenienced or put a bad light or a negative light or locked up Black men. But if y'all weren't doing the crime, she
Hello.
wouldn't be able to give you the time.
That's the truth.
So where is the accountability, number one? You know what I mean? As far as that point that you made. Um, where is the let me give her a chance? Because we've
Yes.
already given him a chance. What baffles me is how many people, well, what has she done in 4 years? Has she been the president? Because that's just like going into the bank and asking the banker how many surgeries have they performed in their workday. But they're not a surgeon. So we wanted her to do the job that she was not in. But that's what they want.
Mm.
Do we drop it? Because I felt
You
that
did, girl.
we
It put it
want
in
her to do
perspective.
the job
They wanted her to do the white man's job the way that we do it every day in our
and
work
don't get paid
and
for
don't
it.
get paid for
Don't
it.
get
We have
acknowledged
to
for it.
train them. No shade because, this isn't
Word.
about
Brum, brum,
race,
brum, brum.
right? But
Come on, Solomon. Yes.
this is what goes on
Yes.
here. So
Mhm.
you want me to train the person that's going to
Mhm.
report to me but came under me
Mhm. You mean that I'm reporting to?
that I'm
Yeah.
reporting to.
Mhm.
You want me
Mhm.
to train
Mhm.
that person.
Mhm.
Do you understand what you're
Mhm.
saying you want me to do?
They understand what they're saying. Oh, they understand.
And you wonder why we
Mhm.
tired.
Yeah. They want us to train. They want us to give our expertise. They want us to handhold. But he's going to get the title. He's going to get the pay. He's going to get the recognition. And
Yes.
you just gonna be the silent blackie in the background. I'm not even gonna say what they probably are calling us, but that's what we are.
Yes.
That coupled with the fact the way they dragged her that night because she did not come out and give her concession speech that night. Madam VP probably wanted to. Kamala probably wrapped that good hair and laid down
Good for her.
because she just probably needed a moment. Why are we not afforded a moment?
Yes.
We cannot stop. I just told one of our mutual friends this the other day. I don't have the luxury to fall out and lay down because if I stop, my whole operation stops. Granted, I'm not supporting my son anymore. He works, he does his own thing, but I'm supporting him. You
Yes.
know, I'm not supporting my mom. She does her own thing, but I'm supporting her.
Yes.
Super Crip, all of, you know what I mean? Everybody has their own thing. But if I stop and fall out,
Yes.
the whole operations get shut down.
Yes.
They acted like that woman not coming out on that Tuesday night after she was just handed this devastating blow was just she's a horrible character. And how could she leave those Howard students out there? That woman had to do what she had to do for, I believe, because we weren't there, we don't know her, we haven't talked to her. I believe that woman had to do
Yet.
what she needed. Yet, you better put it in the atmosphere.
Okay, because Madam VP, we do invite you to the Grow, Glow, and Hoe Heal Over Everything podcast. You do have a space here on the couch over there.
And we got D9 love for you too. Ow.
Okay.
But yes, they wouldn't even give her a moment to process. And how realistic is that for us? We don't even get a minute
Yes.
to fall out and cry because then we're called weak, angry, emotional,
Yes.
all of the things, which we are emotional. It's okay to be weak. We can be soft girls.
Yes.
For whatever reason, those are seen as negative. That woman was not even allowed to sleep on it overnight without them dragging her. And I'm glad that she didn't succumb to whatever pressures her team or whatever she may have been hearing,
Yes.
that she went and did whatever she needed to do. I hope that her husband supported her in that, which it
Yes.
appears, that he did. But baby, go wrap your hair and lay
Yes.
down.
Yes.
You can give it to him tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow will still be there.
Tomorrow will still be.
But we're not even giving that safe space to fall apart
Yes.
without being looked down on. It's mind blowing.
Yes.
It is mind blowing.
Yes. I had transparent. I called the ex girl. No. The ex
Young
called
man.
me.
Young
Yeah,
man.
young man.
Young
Young
man.
man. He actually called me
Okay.
after I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. He was
Mhm.
like, how are you doing? Because he knows my personal work that
Mhm.
I do. So yeah, I'm passionate about this because I have a found love for not politics, but for people.
Yes.
And people are in politics.
Mhm.
Politics are in people. But I keep focus on the fact that it's people, it's community that I love.
Right.
Just so happens it falls under politics.
Mhm.
He called and said, "How are you doing? Do you need anything? Can I come over and just take care of whatever you need?"
Mhm.
That's all. I don't want anything from you. We cool. We cool. You know what? I needed that
Right.
because what exposed what became more apparent to me after the 5th
Mhm.
is I was allowing myself to fall into a space where I started to agree with things that don't make sense anymore.
Mm.
It doesn't make sense for me to come across a feed on social media where women on stages and men are on stages and we're talking about what they did to one another.
Mhm.
I honestly don't care.
Right.
I needed to be held. I needed to be comforted. I needed to just have someone say, "I'm here for you." Because, sorry, see, I wasn't.
Take your time. No.
I like,
Take your time.
whew,
Okay. It's okay.
we were playing 5 crowns.
Okay.
Right? Just he was like, let's play some 5 crowns. I'm here for a minute, whatever. And we were going through the next round. And it was my turn to deal.
Mhm.
So I'm just dealing. I sit down and he gets ready to,
Mhm.
shuffle the deck or split the deck. So I'm getting ready to pick it up, start dealing. And I'm frantically
Mhm.
doing this, but I don't even
Right.
realize I'm just kind of like moving. So I'm present, but I'm not present. And so he just kind of stopped me, goes, "Take a minute.
Mm.
Just relax. Just sit here." And before I knew it, I just started crying because it was like, I need the space too. And you don't know when you need it.
Right. Until it comes.
You
Don't.
don't know when you need it until it comes.
Mhm.
So for me, this election was not about who's going to be the president. It's about having a space to move forward in a space that still gets to be about people, about
Mhm.
community, but also having the space where I get to grow my personal self.
Mhm.
I get to financially expand my portfolio. I get to become the person I've always designed myself to become,
Mhm.
the person I know I am.
Mhm.
So, working so hard to get there and having amazing community behind me, pushing me, and then to get to this space and see the type of world that we're getting to walk back into is filled with oppression. We read about it. We know about it. We have family who continuously
Mhm.
says we're here again. So now I'm feeling
Mhm.
what I believe our ancestors felt. That's heavy. And I sometimes hate saying it out loud because I hate the feeling that I'm giving some white people.
Mhm.
Like, that's just a real thing.
Yes.
I hate the feeling that some white people get gratification just seeing us whine.
Mhm.
Not whine, but cry.
Mhm.
Seeing
Fall
us
apart.
emote,
Yeah.
fall apart, seeing us be vulnerable and
Mhm.
emotional because honestly, I'll fight anybody. It ain't about whether you bigger, better, or scarier than me, okay? Because I got my piece. Right? My daddy be on it now. But it's the idea that I have to be like you, period. I don't want to be like you. And I'm not saying white people, I'm saying bad people,
Right.
inhumane people. You can be white, you could be Asian, you could be black, you could be a woman, you could be a man, you could be anything and you can fit in that category.
Mhm.
But the fact that I have to energetically muster up the
Mhm.
courage to be mean to
Mhm.
somebody just to
Mhm.
show you I'm not the one
Right. Or
is
the 2.
heavy. Or the two is so heavy, it's disgusting, it's nasty work. And that, for me, is very heavy.
Very. Very. But those are the crosses that we have to carry.
Yeah.
I was talking to another girlfriend and she reminded me that our generation um is the first generation born with the right to vote
Yes.
because our parents were not born with that right.
Yes.
My mom was born in 1953, my dad was born in 1946.
Yep.
Neither of them were born with the right to vote.
Yes.
That came as they, right? But me in 81, I was born with that right to vote. And it's like Wednesday the 6th made me question, does my vote even matter?
Right.
It had me questioning, does my vote matter? Do I matter? Does my existence matter? First of all,
And do.
shout out to the 80% of black men that felt that their wives, their sisters, their daughters, their mothers, the women in their lives, that their health and their reproductive systems were worth voting for
Yes.
because you guys didn't have to do it.
Yes.
And I am ever so grateful. My
Yes.
son was one of them, the 80% that voted for us,
Yes.
right? But I woke up feeling so hopeless. First of all, like I said, I don't even have a coochie in the game because my parts are gone. That good hysterectomy, honey. But I voted for the other women, my sister
Yes.
friends, that this would affect. I voted for my nieces, for my goddaughter, who is 6
Yes.
and has no idea what this is about to mean for her as she gets old. I voted with them in mind
Yes.
because I voted for the LGBTQ community that I have in my own family and in my own circle that may not even get to live their truth because hatred and misogyny and homophobia was more important for this country
Yes.
than to see the country ran by a black woman.
Yes.
And so, your emotions that you just so transparently and vulnerably displayed, and I'm so proud of you,
Mhm.
but your emotions hit home
Mhm.
because I couldn't even get a sentence out on that Wednesday. I mean, we had to cancel our recording
Yes.
because we just couldn't do it. And I honestly believe had that election not happened, friend, I feel like we would have, if it was just a bad day, we would have forced ourselves to still come here
Yes.
and not allowed ourselves that space.
Yes.
But we honored our feelings of the day. Shout out to our amazing engineer Solomon, who was like, hey, take your moment, okay? A black man. Again, black men. Y'all
Yes.
can support us And you can still allow us to be soft, but you can still blow power and strength into us.
Yes.
Because Solomon was like, hey, don't worry about it. I got just, he blew strength into you based on what you read me.
Yes.
His response was blew strength into us,
Yes.
but also allowed us to be soft and fall apart. Don't worry about the cancellation today. We're going to figure out.
Yes.
That is what's needed
Yes.
in our communities.
Yes.
And why is it so taboo? And I'm hoping that this is a turning point for our community because at this point, we have already made it very clear we are off. Okay. We are on PTO. Christina's gone. We don't know how to say it any other way. Christina is gone.
Christina.
Okay. If you haven't seen Diary of a Mad Black Woman, you need to check that out. But Christina is gone.
Christina's
New
gone.
Helen is here and we're off. And Christina's gone. Even Black Christopher is gone for our brothers. We just gonna rename them, right? Because we need a minute to get ourselves together.
Yes.
We need to promote and elevate one another, our businesses, our spaces, our books, our TV shows,
Yes.
our movies, because we are not a monolithic. The fact that this woman can be all these things and all these branches of government and still be a wife, a mother, a bonus mother, because I don't care that she didn't have those
Yes.
children on her own.
Come on.
Still an auntie. She can still, we are not monolithic. We are not just one dimensional.
No.
And I know that I know that some of y'all hate that we can do all things. But we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.
Why was I going to say that? I don't know the Bible like
but you
that.
know that.
Okay.
You feel me? And so it's like the same God that breathed on Harriet and Frederick and Malcolm and Martin and pushed our parents to go to school before the Brown versus Board of Education is the same God that's going to breathe on us in 2025 and beyond because we're off. And at least until 2029. Okay, we're off.
We're off.
The same God is going to breathe on us and give us that strength. But I also want us to be able to blow a soft breath on each other and allow each other that space to just be. It is so heavy being Black.
Oof. It's a beautiful thing.
But it is so
it's a
heavy being Black.
Yes.
Like just being Black.
Yeah. Just being.
Forget being a Black man, forget being a Black woman, forget being a Black parent. It's just so heavy being Black. This skin that we're in is beautiful, but sometimes it feels like a metal cloak.
Yes.
Choking the life out of me because of what we're expected to be to all people.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm really, I'm trying to, because I'm over here looking like Easy E with my LA hat on a Majerica, but I'm trying to suck my gangster tears up because it's so heavy.
It's heavy.
And who gonna help the help? That's my question. That is always what I'm asking. Because again, if we stop moving,
everything stops.
Because we got these people crashing out just off the thought of us.
What do you mean you're not going to be here for me anymore?
Just off the thought of us.
I'm going to take a break.
Right. Go figure it out.
That's it.
The same way we've been figuring it out. Because now you're going to have plenty of time. Because for our Latinos who felt that rights and privileges were not as important as the cheaper eggs and the gas, you're going to have lots of time to figure out why Abuelita is packing her stuff and heading on back. You're going to have a lot of time to figure it out. And I don't wish that on anybody. Let me be very clear. But you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, okay? That's what the little babies told me. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. This is what you voted for, okay? This is what you chose.
Yeah.
So have fun with it.
That's the part that there's so many moving parts. And it's so unfortunate because everything that the world, whomever is talking about is all man-made. Like politics is a man-made thing. It's not a real thing. The belief that a country belongs to people, even myself, is ridiculous. We are all sharing a space that we are designed to share. But we have now come to a space that's like, oh, that's mine. Well, you can't have. And it's proximity. If you don't go outside of the gates of your Beverly Hills mansion because you have all these acres of land and gates that surround you, then you have no idea how people in other zip codes are living. Why? Because when you leave, you're going to go have drinks and hang out with your girlfriends or boyfriends, whatever. You're going out to go shopping. You're not going into the local communities to support on a regular basis, not just for a photo op. You know what I'm saying? Beyond a photo op.
Mhm.
So it's proximity. I can't expect you to have sympathy for me not being able to pay rent because
Mhm.
that's not a thing for you. $1,200 is a drop in the bucket. Your
Mm.
mansion is you know, you can afford to pay X
Mhm.
amount of millions of
Mhm.
dollars. So $1,200 is like, are you
Mhm.
kidding me? That's nothing. But for others, it's everything.
Mhm.
So that's where I go back to it's all inhumane. If you don't have empathy and you don't have humanity, that every life experience
Mhm.
has matter to it, then you are missing the
Mhm.
point. And so, for those who don't agree with the other side, like the Trump side, I now give you space to go, I can't argue with you. That's what you believe.
Right.
And I don't understand how you don't see
Right.
what the majority sees, but you have the right to see it. But so do I. And because I too have the right to exist in this space, why do you feel you have the right to take it when I don't want to take anything from you? You can have it. But you guys want to keep
Mhm.
taking from people. It's like you want to take until there's nothing left. And because I'm seeing it, I'm identifying it's not a human space.
Mhm.
This isn't where God resides. So it's not going to end well for them in the first place. Like, because this
Right.
ain't where God resides. But for me, when it comes to my community of people outside of the 92%, and she might see this, she might not. I don't know if she works our podcast. If she do, thank you, girl. Hey, girl. But it's this girl
Mhm.
who we're in the same network.
Okay.
And I've known her for quite some time. I think she's a wonderful person, and they have some type of, I'm not going to be specific, but they have a media outlet in a certain city
Okay.
where they reach people of color,
Okay.
right? And she had made comments on her social media about, Kamala. And I'm thinking, oh, first of all, sidebar. I hate when people say Kamala. Get her name right.
Ooh,
Kamala.
put some
Like,
respect on her
even
name.
us, we do that even in the
Yes.
92%. I've
Right.
seen it. Kamala.
Yes.
Sorry.
Right.
Um,
Correct them every time.
yes, because when she come on here, she's gonna remind you Kamala, not Kamala. We'll
And
see you soon.
Talitha and Nakia, okay?
Yes.
Get it right. I
Put
tell
some respect.
little black girls with a difficult black name, correct them every time.
Every time. Kamala.
Because the minute you let them slide once,
That's it.
they're going to call you what they want to call you.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So she posted in something where I knew she was not going to vote for
Okay.
Kamala. So in the comments, I don't remember what it was, but the result is her response is she basically is choosing to vote for Jill Stein. Now that kind of shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
One, she has a little girl. Two, she speaks to youth programs, specifically girls.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a part of a media outlet that speaks to Black people. Now, Jill Stein may have some great ideas in
Mm-hmm.
this space, but that's not what's on the ticket.
Right.
Politics wasn't on the ticket. Presidency wasn't on the ticket. Humanity was on the ticket. Saving, I hate to even say democracy because we weren't trying to save y'all. We were trying to save us too.
Yes.
You guys were a part of that. Just like you all, those who voted in favor of Kamala,
Mhm.
was trying to save democracy. We were a part of that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So for people not to see that democracy, freedom,
Hmm.
growth, evolution,
Mhm.
forward thinking
Mhm.
was on the ticket and not going back somewhere as if we weren't there before or don't
Mhm.
have a history book that tells us
Mhm.
that. It was weird to me. So for her to say I'm voting for Jill Stein, it really crushed me because it pissed me off. And
Hmm.
she don't know it because we're not friends, we're
Right.
just social networks.
Mhm.
But we're not friends. We will never have the opportunity to be friends. I will encourage anyone who thinks they know what I'm talking about, don't work with her. I have no intentions on ever working with her. I lost complete respect for her. So I get it when people say it's over because of this election. It wasn't because you voted for Donald Trump. It wasn't because you voted for Jill Stein. It was because you voted against the child that you carried, the child that you mothered, the child that you mentor. You voted against her because her rights will be taken away. And it just so happens because we're in California, it's going to be prolonged. But Gavin is only here for so long. There's only so much he can do. So you voted against your own child. I have no trust in you. I have no faith in you. And if I ever see her on the street, I will walk as if we would never knew each other. I will not work with someone like that again.
Ooh,
And
child.
that's why people are mad. Forget Donald Trump. It's because you voted against your own child. I don't even trust you around my kid because I don't trust you around yours.
Friend, you giving it to the people.
That's how I feel like.
Listen. And that's the other things. With all this whining, I can't believe you deleted me and unfriended me because of who I voted for. And did. And I need you to understand, I did.
Did.
Because you showed me to my face who you are. and what you hold to be true, what you hold to be fact, what you hold to be a priority. And it was not my little black ass.
Yes.
So we have nothing in common morally. And I have earned the right to choose who I choose to be in
Yes.
relationship with on social media spaces, in workspaces, in real
Yes.
life spaces. I have earned the right to choose who I want to have and share my energy with.
Yes.
So please believe it. We're done.
We're
And it's
done.
okay. It is okay. It is okay. Because guess what? I have moved on. Not moved on in the sense of I'm over it, but I haven't thought about you since I hit unfriend.
Yes.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
Because I have to do what's best for me. What really, really saddened me, and I'm going to use the word we as a collective, but the 92 and the 80% of us, we got it right.
Mhm.
What saddened me is this is the world we're leaving to our babies.
Yes.
If the circle of life goes the way it should, we're going to be dead and gone. And our children are going to be the ones reaping the consequences
Yes.
of the decision from November 5th, 2024.
Yes.
Because, like you said, things are getting ready to be dismantled.
Yes.
And we haven't even seen what's behind door number one. Okay. All we know is the man's name.
I didn't-
And we know what he showed us before. But he already said in open conversation that he is coming back for revenge, that he is coming back this time to end democracy. That man said we will never have to vote again.
They didn't hear him. They didn't care.
And that's where we're leaving our babies.
Yes.
That's the world that we're supposed to leave them in unprotected.
Yes.
So I feel like we have failed our babies because never once in an election that I've watched or participated in and voted in have I sobbed and felt so helpless as I did on November 6th when I woke up.
Yes.
Because you can have opponents, right? They showed an old clip of Obama and Mitt Romney,
Yes.
right? And they were in a debate, and President Obama was telling Michelle, his wife, happy anniversary. I'm so sorry that we're spending it with 100,000 million people watching us and all that. And Mitt Romney came on and said, "Oh, but you're spending it here with me." Like it was good
Yes.
banter.
It was great
They
banter.
were on opposite sides of their stances. They were opponents. They were running
Yes.
against each other, but there was no hatred. Granted, Mitt Romney said some things that rubbed the female community wrong. We were a little worried about what he was going to try to do to our parts and all that, but it was still good opposition.
Yes.
And there is a difference between having an opponent and having an enemy.
Oof.
When Barack Obama ran his 2 terms, he had opponents,
Yes.
right? When Bill Clinton ran, he had opponents.
Yes.
This woman had an enemy.
She had an enemy.
She was going against Satan himself. And we know that Satan rules the earth, right? God reigns over the heavenly realm and Satan rules the earth since he kicked him out of heaven. Just a little Bible lesson for those super saints out there. Because that's another thing. And I know I'm getting off tangent, but these super saints that want to hide behind the Bible and Christianity, and I'm talking about the ones that voted for the orange orangutan. I can't even hold it in no more. They hide behind God and Christianity, and it is sickening because we know that is not what the word of God is saying. Because for them to try to use it against the LGBT community, against women who have had abortions, listen, I am a woman, I'm not proud, but I have had an abortion and I wrote it in this book. I was very transparent, okay? But what I do know is that Jesus Christ still loves me and that I still matter to him, that he still died on that cross for me to get into heaven one day. That does not define me.
Yes.
For our community, and I'm getting emotional because it's angering
Yes.
that people try to use religion against you when you've made a mistake or you've made a decision, thank you, friend, that they may not agree with.
Yes.
And so they hide behind this idea of Christianity. And then it gives Christians that are really there, really know the word of God, really rooted in trying to be and walk the footsteps of Jesus on this earth and bring others to Christ. It gives us such a bad name.
Yes.
because then they remember the judgmental ones and the ones who see them come in church with the short skirts or the flamboyant outfits or the what have you. And he loves us all, but they pit us even against each other in religion.
Mhm.
And again, why does my one decision that I made for my life as a black woman define me to you
It
and makes me worthless in your eyes?
it does.
And it's just sickening. And this is the world. This is the world that we live in.
Yes. Free will. Like,
Right.
I just
Right.
free will. We choose how we choose to wield our free will.
Mhm.
And when you choose something where you know it is about someone else's behavior, someone else's outcome, someone else's life, and you're choosing to make that a priority for you,
Right.
then you're wasting your free will.
Mhm.
And I'm going to remind myself constantly that they're using their free will
Mhm.
inhumane.
Mhm.
This is not a safe space for me
Right.
because that's the only way I can now make it make sense. Anything outside of that, I'm
Mhm.
fighting you to not be you.
Mhm.
That don't even feel good to me. I'm fighting you not to be you.
Maybe you.
Nah, I'm going to promote me because I'm going to promote me
Mhm.
to be me. My free will
Mhm.
is going to be operated like this. And when I recognize when I'm not in the best energetic space, I understand now, don't be around other people because you're not ready.
Mhm.
So I tell myself now, if you're not happy, keep it to yourself,
Mhm.
right? Those who know you know how to give you what you need when you need it. But don't go out there infecting the world because you're not happy.
Correct.
So I make that a practice now because it's my free will.
Mhm.
Those who choose to go out infecting the world have made a conscious decision and a silent agreement with themselves and said, it's worth making you unhappy
Mhm.
too. I choose to tap out. That's where Christina's gone.
Yeah.
Free will is where I'm stepping out. Oh, this is who you are? I don't care what color you are. Mm, I can't do that.
I cannot do that.
Can't do
It's beneath me. It is not demure.
that.
It is
Or
not
cutesy.
cutesy or mindful.
Very mindful.
This conversation I know is going to continue on for the months to come.
Yes.
And I, number one, am so thankful that I do have a safe space in you. I'm so thankful that we have a safe space here at the podcast place,
Thank you
Long
so
Beach,
much.
California, and repping that LBC.
This is a black media.
Black
We are a
owned.
black media company by a black owned podcasting space.
Okay.
Like this channel.
Yes. So we have this safe space together, and these conversations are so important to have at work, around the water cooler,
Yes.
at cookouts, in church,
Yes.
around our friends, game
Yes.
night,
Yes.
having your friends
Sis
over,
givings.
all of the things because we have to get these feelings out.
Yes.
We have to get them out to people who at least are willing to hear and that they're listening to comprehend and not listening to respond.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's what they want to listen to respond. They want you to hurry up and say it so they can say, like you said, but, however, although,
I don't think.
but when we get around each other and we get in our community of the 92% and the 80 that get it, we can have these conversations and even and those spaces are okay to agree to disagree.
Yes.
I can agree to disagree if you want pepperoni pizza and I want Hawaiian jerk chicken, whatever. I cannot agree to disagree if you think that my black life does not matter. Okay? I can't agree to disagree if you're telling me that if anyone in my life loves the same sex, that they are not worthy of practicing that love or showing that love. We can't agree to disagree on morals.
No.
Okay?
Either you have it
Find
or you
another
don't.
friend.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
gone. It's fine and it's gone. Find another friend.
Which leads me to asking you, because you just prompted a question.
Yes.
So
Yes, the
unless you
segue.
have a question,
No.
um, tip.
Hmm.
So every episode now, when we close out, we're going to close out with a whole tip. This whole tip is inspired for you to have thought, critical thinking, right?
Mhm.
Forward movement, something that's going to propel you forward and not regress you. So my question to you, what is your whole tip for yourself? What actions do you plan on implementing for you to have peace within so you can exude that externally.
So my whole tip is on my shirt. I am going to continue to hoe to protect my peace. If that means saying no, because no is a complete sentence. That means saying no without guilt or shame. If that means not showing up when I am not in the best energy or in the best mindset, I am going to continue to work on protecting my peace at all costs. Whoever can go, okay? That goes for my son, even though he not going nowhere. But my son, my parents, my anybody can go. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to be able to live a peaceful life in this chaotic world. So my whole tip is I'm going to continue to protect my peace at all costs, whatever that looks like. Whether I look like Easy E or whether I look like Princess Tiana in my heels and my tiara and my microphone, because y'all know I love a
Yes.
good microphone.
Do.
That's what I'm going to do. Friend, what's your whole tip?
It's pretty much similar. Yeah. I'm going to show up in spaces where not where I feel seen because I'm only there these days,
Mhm,
but where I'm heard. If I say I can't, I won't, I
mhm,
don't, or whatever it is, I need the person to hear me and say, okay. Because again, I have the right.
mhm,
That's it.
mhm,
And I'm going to be more mindful about having intentional listening
mhm.
and not intentional reply. Because even I can think to myself, well, that ain't what you said yesterday. And I'm going to remind you because I remember word for word, girl. I have an elephant of a memory. Meanwhile, when I say, why did I go in this kitchen? What was I looking for in this
That's the
kitchen?
menopause.
You know what I'm
That's the
saying?
menopause.
2 minutes. And I'm like, what was I about to look for on this
Right,
social media
right.
app? But I can tell you what you said
Mhm,
that I didn't like.
mhm,
And if I'm willing to hold on to that, and I can't remember 2 minutes ago what I was just about to do,
mhm.
then understanding for me, I'm not paying enough attention to what's most important to me.
Yes.
I'm paying attention to what bothered me. No, I need to heal over that.
Mhm.
And if it's not worth healing, then let it go.
Yes.
Because then it ain't that big of a deal.
Yes.
So I'm going to be mindful about my intentional responses and my intentional conversations. So I can
We're
have
gonna hold
intentional
each other to
peace.
that.
Okay, Pinky. And the brain?
Right. And as a collective whole tip that we've talked about here for our 92%,
Yes.
take your cape off, sis. We are off. Okay? Lay down, get your good rest, do whatever you need to do until 2029 and beyond.
Yes. Put that bonnet on to get on the plane at this point.
And do
We deserve
you.
it.
So, hey, as we get up out of here, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, follow, tell a friend, do all the things. Get some merch, get you a hoodie, a
Yes.
shirt, a water bottle, and let's continue healing over everything.
Yes.
We'll
The
see you
shrinkage.
next time.
Bye.